A major shakeup today at Tulane University as it responds to our exclusive eyewitness investigation into its police department.
Investigative reporter David Hammer confronted the school about allegations of police misconduct, and today Tulane announced the chief of police, Joey Bishop, resigned. Here's David with the report that helped trigger the changes.
New Year's Day 2016, Tulane University Hospital. Tulane police officers arrest Jannard Brister for beating his estranged wife and coming with her to the emergency room. Brister resists before being handcuffed and taken to an office where Officer Clifton Thomas tries again to subdue him.
No. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
Tulane Police Sergeant Errol Peters reported Brister repeatedly resisted arrest, but at this point, he's handcuffed.
I ain't doing nothing but help somebody. You're funny.
Sergeant Peters' taser recorded this video. It shows Brister kicking chairs, making threats, daring Peters to shoot him with the stun gun. This current Tulane police supervisor reviewed the taser video. He's one of 10 current and former officers who spoke to us anonymously out of fear of retribution from Tulane.
If someone's handcuffed and sitting in the chair, they obviously pose no threat to anyone. You know, it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter if they're leveling threats. 3 Tulane police supervisors found improper use of force. A commander also found Peters lied on his incident reports and failed to document the hand choking by Thomas. Anyone who's ever watched a television crime drama can see, you know, that's not right. Here, the captain over downtown patrol recommended suspending, demoting, and possibly firing Peters. And this document shows that Commander Jared Sullivan agreed. But sources high up inside the Tulane Police Department say the chief, Joey Bishop, ordered Sullivan to change his ruling. And Sullivan filed this report instead, recommending only written reprimands for Peters, Thomas, and another officer who was also there. I mean, everyone thought that their career as law enforcement officers was over at the people in the video. And it was, no one was doubting that.
But that's not what happened.
No, it's not what happened.
Tulane refused to provide a copy of the taser video, but let us review it. The same video was leaked to us by a former supervisor, one of a dozen current and former officers who told us they witnessed or unwillingly participated in cover-ups.
When it comes to Tulane University, nothing makes it into the public eye that they don't want in the public eye.
Tulane University claims its police are private employees and their actions are not subject to public scrutiny like they are at other police departments.
They like to lean on the fact that it's a private institution and all. They forget that the police officers have state commissions. I mean, I don't know how they can say, they got us out around the city of New Orleans working parade routes and stuff, which is not Tulane property in any way, shape, or form. How can they say we're private police?
Came down the street to about the middle of the 700 block of Adams. It was dispatched in reference to a fight on Maple Street.
Okay.
At a bar.
Former Tulane Sergeant Carlos Alvarado was on the scene last June when one of his subordinates, Officer Jerron Carter, chased a man to the intersection of Maple and Adams Streets, more than a half-mile off campus.
Right around here is where he stopped.
Now,
Officer Carter wrote in his incident report that the man he was chasing failed to comply with his orders to stop, not according to Alvarado.
He stopped.
Completely.
He stopped because I had slowed, he had come way slow, stopped, was standing here like this.
Carter reported grabbing the man's shoulder and pulling him to the ground to handcuff him. Again, that's not what Alvarado saw.
And he came and grabbed him from the behind the neck area here, and picked him and forcibly took him to the ground, causing him to land on his chest and facial area.
Lifted him up off the ground.
Yes.
And threw him down?
Yes.
And what had the man done to deserve that?
When he interviewed him, he found out that he was the victim.
On this form, Sergeant Alvarado finds Carter's actions were not consistent with law, policy, and training. And here, a use of force review board of 6 police supervisors unanimously agreed that Carter had stepped over the line. But then Chief Bishop ordered those findings changed and Deputy Chief Sean Kirk filed these documents instead. On these documents, Alvarado's name isn't there, and the boxes are checked to say Carter's actions were consistent with law, policy, and training. And look at the Use of Force Review Board's vote. On the documents filed by Kirk, there's no more X for unanimous, and the line where the X goes is missing.
It looked like a kid who changed his report card who'd never done it before. It looks as if someone covered up the area and made a copy.
After we asked questions about these records, Commander Sullivan reviewed them and marked the version filed by Kirk void. Sullivan also found the way Chief Bishop's changes were made was procedurally incorrect.
Tulane suspended Kirk, and last week he resigned. On Monday, school administrators said they'd begun a nationwide search to replace Bishop, and today he resigned as chief.
It's like a dictatorship.
Officer Jerron LaBeouf said he's so fed up he decided to speak to us on the record while he was still on the force. Then he resigned.
You want to target me, I can deal with it. You know, when I didn't get the results I felt I should have got, I went to the EEOC. So I can deal with that. But when you get to the point where you're violating citizens' civil rights and you're not acting accordingly, that's when I have enough.
At first, Tulane refused to turn over any of its police records, claiming it isn't subject to the Louisiana Public Records Law that governs other police forces. WWL disagrees and challenged the school's decision. Last week, Tulane agreed to give us most of the records voluntarily, but still insists it's not required to. That means the public that regularly encounters Tulane police off campus and families from all over the world who pay $70,000 a year to attend the university have little ability to hold the school's police force accountable.
If these parents knew the substandard level of police work they're getting, is that the kind of police department we want? I wouldn't want my kid coming here with that.
David Hammer, Eyewitness News.
Tulane hired an outside law firm to investigate anonymous complaints back in January and also hired consultants to review its police practices and procedures. Tomorrow, we'll tell you about a Tulane police commander who was also fired after we investigated her record.